Okay, thanks, Michael. My name is Michael Gleason, Director of Strategic Growth and Product Development at Greensource Fabrication. And with me is my colleague, Gustavo Ramos, Director of Business Development, Global Sales and Service for Greensource Engineering. We are sister companies, wholly owned subsidiaries underneath Whelan Engineering, who's a market leader in advanced warning systems. We're going to do a little bit quick kind of our facility, and then of course tying into the whole green aspect, which Gustavo is going to handle after I go through a few of my slides. So here are two facilities. So Greensource Fabrication is up in Charlestown, New Hampshire. About 150 people, give or take. So we're about 3 hours from here, not a pretty short drive. We're a leader in the US for HDI, UHDI, PCB manufacturing with subtractive and MSAP processing. We have a state-of-the-art equipment set loaded with automation, very little handling by humans, and we're fully green. And this is kind of the whole point of us being here, that we were the first PC fabricator in the world to have a closed-loop wastewater system.
Yeah, so that's where Greensource Engineer comes from. So we are located not 2 hours from here. We are in Europe. So we have the factories in Poland and the office in Berlin. And besides the wastewater systems, we also have wet chemical machines for printed circuit board production, also software solution and automation.
Okay, give you a quick visual. That is our current facility. I'll touch on in a minute. We are building out a three-phase expansion plan, focused on phase one right now. This is all part of the onshoring effort. We received some money from the DoD, which I'll touch on in a minute, to stand up pure SAP manufacturing. So this is building a copper on pure dielectric versus a seed layer like you'd have, a copper foil like you'd have with a MSAP process, which gives you greater density. So think of IC packaging and whatnot. Just a few of our highlights. We are privately held. We do not offshore any of our CAM. We're an ITAR facility. So majority of our customers are in the DoD space. Recently received our ASI 100 certification. We are industry-leading blind via formations. That's really our claim to fame, is very, very reliable microvias in all sorts of different configurations, stacked and staggered. Not sure how much of you are familiar with that detail. But again, heavy automation, working with Greensource Engineering, Industry 4.0. So all of our machines talk to each other. We're gathering tons of data with our fully automated major chunks of automation throughout our process. Multiple processes strung together through all this connectivity. This just gives you kind of a visual, if you will, of the feature sizes, right? So we're, on the right is some traces and vias that we've produced in our current facility with MSAP. Pretty fine. Then you look over at a white blood cell, red blood cell, versus a grain of beach sand. So we're playing in a very, very small space. Again, the microelectronics side, this is where we need to be as we're pushing towards, bridging into semiconductor packaging. Some cross sections of various via structures that we've produced. This was a pure BT package, Mitsubishi material base, 424 construction. So again, all these vias in between layers by themselves, those are your microvias. Every time you do a layer of those, you have to go through the entire process again and again. So it's not a quick process, but our process produces very, very reliable structures. HDI, a little less dense. So this is your more traditional circuit board. RF, high speed, is typically where we play. A lot of lamination cycles, blind and buried. Constructions, nothing is simple. When we opened our doors in 2019 for third party, and it was everybody gave us their hardest board to build because nobody else could build it. So that was a bit of a challenge. We've grown a lot since then, but we haven't been around very long. I've got patented selective resistor process, again, MSAP and SAP. And with that, we can get some very, very tight tolerances on RF traces, et cetera. Again, more cross sections. This 10-to-1 aspect ratio, plated shut mechanical via is pretty unique. Don't see that very often.